My friend, there's an all-new SUV crossover in town.
That's right. And you actually were there when they presented it.
Yes, I have some in-person knowledge about the all-new 2023 Dodge Hornet.
Bringing back an old name with a completely different vehicle.
I think it's been done before.
Surprising. So what is this vehicle? What are we talking about?
Yeah, so in this episode, this is a world debut of this car.
Right.
I was at an embargoed meeting that they had in Michigan.
Right.
And so I have some firsthand knowledge of this car, but I wasn't allowed to do video. So this is our world debut. And we're going to give you all the specs, all the information, pricing, when it's going to be available, and everything about it.
Well, why don't we get right to it? Because you guys are curious, just like we are. Now, first of all, from what I gather from the marketing, this is not exactly what we call a efficiency-based plug-in hybrid or turbo vehicle, whatever you want to call it. They really want you to think of it as a performance crossover.
Yeah, so Dodge has this image now. So they're full, they're famous for their Hellcats.
Right.
Demons.
Hemis.
V8s, loudness, speed, all this stuff. So they want to keep that image, but now move into the segment because they haven't been here before. It's about time that Dodge is entering this compact / maybe smaller crossover segment.
Right.
For all-wheel drive. So they're only offering this new crossover in all-wheel drive, no front-wheel drive option.
Right.
Only with turbocharged power or plug-in hybrid power, and slightly premium pricing and premium performance.
Right. So what are we talking about? We're talking about a vehicle that directly competes against vehicles like the Honda CR-V and the Toyota RAV4, amongst others. And those are some of the best-selling vehicles you can buy in the United States. And it's a very difficult space to invade. So how are they going to do it?
They're going to do it with power and performance.
Gotcha.
So it's all going to start with a Hornet GT. First of all, let us know what you think about the name in the comments below, and let us know about all the aspects that we're going to be discussing.
Yeah, what do you think of the way it looks?
Exactly. So 2-liter turbo is their base. So it's already a turbocharged engine you're getting. 265 horsepower plus. They may recertify it when it goes on sale, but they're promising at least 265 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, 9-speed automatic transmission, and in sport mode, according to Dodge, 6.5 seconds 0 to 60, and a top speed of 140.
Now, this vehicle, should we talk about pricing now or should we talk about it at the end?
Yeah, might as well do it now.
Okay, so this is their baseline vehicle. Oh, by the way, it also comes standard with all-wheel drive.
Yes, and the price is?
$29,995.
Okay, so almost 30 grand.
Yes.
But once again, you're getting a turbocharged vehicle with all-wheel drive and all the capability that it offers.
Yeah. Now, for those of you who might have been paying attention, this is a vehicle that is based on an Alfa Romeo that recently came out as well.
Yes, Alfa Romeo Tonale, and the Dodge Hornet is going to be built in Italy. And, of course, it's going to be sold here in the United States. And it's also the version of it, which is the RT version of the Hornet, is going to be the first electrified Dodge plug-in hybrid available.
So let's talk about that one now that we've talked about the base model. We're moving up now to the higher level one. Now, this is still turbocharged, but it's a 1.3-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine and a rear-mounted electric motor, like other people have done. But on top of that, a plug-in hybrid.
Yes, and they're promising at least 285 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque and a 6.1 seconds 0 to 60. So this hybridization, by the way, they're saying about 30 miles on pure electric mode. There's, of course, e-save or hybrid modes available, and it's similar to some of the other Stellantis vehicles, like the 4xEs that they also are offering here for Jeep. And 75 mpge equivalent, so 75 mpge, and a 2.5-hour full charge, because the battery that's going to be included in this RT is about 15.5 kilowatt hours. There is also a 6-speed automatic transmission involved.
Interesting. So no CVT. Now, this is a 15.5 kilowatt hour battery. Basically, that's about half the size of the battery that's inside my kid's Nissan Leaf. And it's an interesting setup because you have a 7.4 kilowatt charger, right? I'm curious, though, is there more power available?
Yes, they have something called Power Shot. This is Dodge, after all.
Right.
Right. They really want to position this crossover as a performance model. So the Power Shot capability will add about 25 horsepower for a 15-second stint. So you're basically being, like overboost features
Yeah.
on some of the other cars, performance
Sure.
cars.
Some German cars, too.
Yeah, some German cars offer this as well. So you're getting an immediate boost. So they're saying it can improve your 0 to 60 by almost a second, according to Dodge. And this will allow you to get on that highway in a hurry or pass a vehicle on a mountain road. Bam.
So what you're referring to is normally you'd get around 7.1 seconds 0 to 60 times, but with using this Power Shot, you'll get close to 6.1 seconds 0 to 60.
Yeah, which is impressive. And
Yeah,
they say
it's
that
quick.
there needs to be a 15-second cooldown after each Power Shot usage. So really, I mean, you could keep using it, quiet in rapid succession, and they're promising consistent performance because this is Dodge.
Okay, so let's move on to what we have in terms of the interior and some of the other options that are available. And there's apparently a track pack. There's a whole bunch of stuff here.
Yeah, and let's touch on the style, exterior first, right?
Okay.
So the style, I would call it more aerodynamic. Mm-hmm. I was expecting the Hornet and the Dodge. I'm picturing the Charger or the Challenger,
Sure.
a little bit more squared off, a little bit more macho. This, of course, they're really mindful of efficiency, performance, speed, all of that. So it's a little bit more sleek and quiet. I would call it clean lines. There's not it's not overstyled, in my opinion.
I would agree with that part. The front end does definitely resonate with the whole Dodge look because it definitely has kind of a Charger Challenger glint in it, right? And they wanted to do that because this is one step closer to their electrified future that they've been talking about, and we've obviously been clued in on as well. The side perspective looks just like any other crossover. You can't help but have a 2 or 3 box setup with crossovers nowadays. It's just that's how it is because you have to have space. But I will give them credit. What they've managed to do is they managed to take a lot of the other lines, mold them, and make them look a little bit more muscular than your average crossover in this class. So kudos to them for that. And also, one thing that's really important, they didn't build some sort of fake 4x4 off-roady looking thing. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the other competitors do that. They decided not to do that, which may have been a smart thing. They reserved this to make it more of a street vehicle that has all-wheel drive. And I think that was a smart move.
Daily driver.
Yes.
You can do all that. And also, I'm hinting at what's coming up near the end of this video, GLH.
Uh-oh.
This is what Tim Kuniskis, the CEO of Dodge, he said the goes like hell model is back. There's going to be a Hornet GLH.
So the GLH name goes all the way back to Carroll Shelby's days back with Plymouth and working with Dodge and making a very small, very powerful front-wheel drive car.
Kind of a hot hatch.
It was
in a way.
extremely hot hatch, actually.
And actually, this is terminology that Dodge has also used during this meeting.
They're calling this a hot hatch?
Well, hot hatch / he used the word pocket rocket.
Okay.
So the idea is that this is a crossover. It's an SUV shape.
Right.
It's got all the utility of a rear hatch.
Right.
But especially in the GLH model, they're going to lower it so it's going to look like a little bit more like a hot hatch would.
Right. Anything else about the GLH?
Well, it's going to be based on a 2-liter. Let's just go there. It's going to be based on a 2-liter turbo. It's going to have special suspension, lowered suspension, special tuning. They call it Stage Kit. Exclusive wheels, graphics, painted, lower trim. So many items. And by the way, the front fenders have a little Hornet badge. Like a little graphic.
That's right. Yeah, there's a little graphic up front.
Yeah. So, and the graphic is going to be either blacked out. It can have different accents. GLH will have red eyes. It's going to be really aggressive.
They've always been really bright when it comes to making something that looks kind of cool to the customer and unique. And in this case, more powerful, or at least looking more powerful. Now, let's talk about the interior tech real quick, because there are a few things to talk about.
Yeah, so of course, the interior, if you've seen the Alfa Romeo, this may look familiar.
Yes.
But I actually sat in it. There's some pre-production models. It kind of driver-centric. I mean, you get into it, and the screens are kind of pointed toward the driver.
Yeah, it kind of wraps around you a little bit, right?
Yeah, and you kind of sink down into it. Actually,
Right.
it's a really good feeling.
Good.
I thought. I've also I haven't driven the Tonale Alfa Romeo yet.
Right.
We hope to do that soon. But it felt really, really sporty, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, I agree.
I think this is exactly what Dodge wanted. So then you have Uconnect 5. So their latest infotainment system that won many awards, right? Very, very popular system, and I agree.
Yeah.
Pretty easy to use, but it's been modified because the screens are a little different. So they have a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster in front of the gauges
Right.
for the driver. They have a 10.25-inch center infotainment display. So they had to kind of reorganize in different tiles and different sections how the system is showing.
Well, it makes sense because it's not a very big car, so you have to package it a certain way to really make it work, right?
Exactly. Of course, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all those features are available. There's going to be Plus models, tech packs. Also, driver assistance technologies are there with intelligent street sign recognition and traffic signs and driver attention assist. So if you imagine all the latest tech suites, this Hornet will have it.
Okay, and it looks like, heated and ventilated leather seats are available on the Plus, the GT Plus and the RT Plus, and power sunroof, 14-speaker Harman Kardon stereo system, power liftgate. So they're cramming this thing full of luxury, full of tech, full of sport, and it looks like they're going to be super competitive in a segment that doesn't really have much of a competitor, because I can't think of anybody that's building a performance vehicle at this level for this price.
Yeah, and I mean, prices are a little bit higher. Let's mention a few.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
And then just kind of take a little bit wider view. So the Hornet GT we mentioned already starts at about $30K. The GT Plus Hornet starts at $34,995. The Hornet RT, this is the plug-in hybrid, starts at $39,995. And of course, the RT Plus starts at $44,995. So this is more on a higher end of the segment. But remember, Dodge does not have any mid-size crossovers. The only bigger brother to the Hornet is now the Durango.
Right.
And the Durango is playing in a 3-row, kind of more of a full-size segment.
And there's a Hellcat version of it, for crying out loud.
Heck yeah,
too.
and we talked about it in the previous news video as well.
That's right. Now,
The Hellcat Durango is coming back.
There aren't that many challengers to this vehicle in terms of a plug-in hybrid either. And if you talk about the Toyota, yes, there's the RAV4 Prime.
Yes.
Which is remarkably expensive as well. So I think it's competing in that segment.
And mostly highly sought after.
Extremely sought after.
So Dodge may be onto something. I'm glad they have this option. They say, well, first of all, you'll be able to order them starting on August 17th, which is basically right now, a day after we're recording this.
Right.
They'll be available. They're going to start arriving in dealers in late, think like December 2022.
That sounds about right.
In volumes in the spring of 2023.
Yeah.
So, especially with the RT models as well. So they're coming soon. I don't think they cannot come soon enough.
I agree. This is a segment that they haven't touched, and they really needed to. And I think that Stellantis is part of this, since they built up this thing saying, hey, we need to compete. The fact that it's electrified. This is just the start for the United States. Bear in mind that they have had an electrified platforms available that are similar to this, available for Jeeps overseas for actually a couple of years. So now we're finally getting something. We're finally getting the nice toys. We just need to drive one.
Yes, and of course, really kind of bright colors are going to be available. Just listen to some of the names before we finish.
Yes, please.
Acapulco Gold, Blue Bayou, Blue Steel, Gray Cray, Hot Tamale, Cue Ball, and 8-Ball.
Wow. You just described almost the entire staff at TFL by talking about those colors.
I'm sorry. This is not from me. This is from Dodge.
Okay. Of course it is.
Okay.
Tim Knissis did this on purpose, didn't he?
He did. I think he wanted me to say all these things.
That's pretty awesome. Well, good for them. I'm excited about this vehicle. We've known about it for a little while. Now we're beginning to see it, and I'm really curious to what your perspective is, not only on the vehicle itself, but the segment that it performs in, because it is an extremely competitive segment.
Yeah, and now they have a pocket rocket to compete, according to the CEO.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, so let us know what you think in the comments below. As always, when more news drops on this, Hornet will let you know, and when we drive it, first drives, all that stuff coming up, and you could see all of it at alltfl.com.